Momiji Hazushi. This is a escape from strangle, standing strangle on the Iwara. Traditionally, there's only one version. It's a cross choke. We do two other versions, both just bare hand chokes on the throat first. Our first technique, someone with their bare hands is just wrapping their hands around your throat, and their arms are bent. You go in and grab with bent arms on the throat. Just like the rest of your Iwara, anytime somebody's grabbing you, I'm sinking because I don't want to get pulled off balance, and I want to tighten up their grip. I like to do a little shot to the solar plexus as I sink, and pop right to the solar plexus. A percussive strike. I don't want to push them so that their arms lock out. That's a different technique which we'll work on next, how to escape from that, but I don't want to change this. I like having their elbows open. I'm going to go right up the middle. Sink and shoot to the solar plexus. Then I'm going to go and attack the arms. The mistake that most people make, though, is when they go up, they're too far away from their body. They're trying to attack the forearms with their own forearms. In class, you often get away from this because people are either just running through the list or they're not giving you a lot of resistance. If somebody's really holding you there, that's not going to be enough necessarily to break their grip. I'm going to go back to our basic principles. Strongest point versus weakest point. The weakest point in this strangle are the thumbs. They're grabbing you with their hands around your throat. The thumbs are the weakest point of that grip. The forearms are a lot stronger than the thumbs. I want to attack the thumbs, not the forearms. And I don't want to use my forearms to attack. I want to use my shoulders. My shoulders are a lot stronger than my forearms. So I'm using my shoulders against their thumbs. Strongest point versus weakest point. I sink, shoot to the solar plexus, and go straight up because I want my shoulders going through their thumbs. Not out here, but straight up. Once I'm up, I've broken the grip. I also have the center line because my arms are on the inside of theirs. You can come down, typically we use some kind of claw to the face. Sink, straight up, and claw. Sink, straight up, claw. Way you can practice this at home with your belt. Tie a knot on each end of the belt, put it through the door so it makes a loop. I'm going to put this around the back of my neck. There's no danger of pressure here because the carotid's in the front and the pressure's on the back of the neck. But what I want you to do is lean back enough so that it's not only taut, but there's a little pressure there. So you can feel when you go up the middle with your forearms, you're just not going to quite break that grip. What I want you to do, keep it tight, sink, and go straight up. Shoulders roll, coming back down. Set it back up. Again, you can feel the difference between, I can't quite get my arms through when I'm attacking that far down. Sink, shoulders straight up, back down the center. My neck is free. That's our primary version. Our first variation, same grab, naked grab with just the bare hands on the throat. This time the arms are straight. So if you do this technique and the arms straighten, you'll do the other counter. Also, sometimes people grab with the wrong one. I mean, I'm going to defend whatever you grab me with, but sometimes people grab in the wrong order. Don't do the wrong technique, but the wrong attack. Sometimes people are so used to doing, okay, this one's first, this one's second, and then they grab in the wrong order and you try to do the wrong technique. Pay attention to how they're grabbing you. The person who's attacking you is never wrong. They're attacking you. You need to defend with whatever they're attacking you. Anyways, in order, our first variation, arms are straight. Same idea, strongest point versus weakest point. Still my shoulders versus the thumbs. They grab me, arms extended. Again, I'm sinking, and I'm going to grab the wrist on one side. Either one. Sink and grab. My other arm's going to go up and over. The mistake a lot of people make, again, is they're too far away from the body. They come over and they try to chop at the forearms with the forearms. It's equal strength against equal strength, forearm to forearm. I don't want to do that. I want to use my shoulders against their thumb, so I gotta be nice and tight to my body. I sink and grab, my arm goes up, right in close to my body, and I'm basically doing a sit-up. This elbow is going to my opposite hip, a little crunch. Trying to touch your elbow to your hip on the opposite side. Sink and grab the wrist, other hand comes up, and cut. You're gonna break the grip, and you're now pinning the wrist underneath your tricep. You've broken the grip, you're holding the wrist on one side, your arm is over top of theirs, and they're nice and close now because you bent their arms. You got a nice follow-up with an elbow to the head. Also, it's hard to show in the video because there's no hand, but when I grab this wrist and I make them release here, the hand comes open, I can just grab the meat of the hand and go right into kotegaeshi from here. Grab and sink over the top, crunch, elbow, turn that wrist over, you got kotegaeshi if you want. Again, sinking, grabbing the wrist, I'll do the other side. Sinking, grabbing the wrist, over, crunch nice and tight to the body, elbow over the top, this hand's releasing and go right into kotegaeshi on that side if you want. Same thing with the belt, put around the back of my neck. This one, it won't release the belt necessarily when you do it, but what I want you to feel is the pressure coming over the top and back. Sink and grab the belt just like you're grabbing a wrist. Go right up, do a crunch. Bend those belts, and then elbow. Kotegaeshi if you want an extra finish. Again, sink and grab the wrist all the way up. Cross both arms, crunch, elbow to the opposite hip. Elbow, kotegaeshi. You can slip it over your head if you want to really be cute. Sink, hey, kotegaeshi. The second variation, which is a version of the traditional version, which we actually don't do, I'll break them both down. This is the cross choke. This is kata jujijime. One up and one down, going in nice and deep, using the collar as counter pressure for the strangle. This is a really dangerous one because you gotta get inside and buy myself some time. Sure, if somebody's got this on and I can't get my hands in, go to the face, go to attack, you're not gonna have a lot of time here. Whatever we do to finish the technique, Sensei likes to emphasize protecting that strangle is the most important part. When those hands are coming in, well, first of all, we let people kind of put the technique on for worst case scenario, but if someone's reaching in for me like this, I'm just gonna push like a single chest push, get out of the way, don't let them get in. But if the fingers are already in, I need to weave through the arms. This is the part that's important to make sure which side you go over. If the side on this side is on top and the other side is underneath, then I'm going to step back on the top side with my foot to create some space and weave in between the arms. Step back and weave in, bring my hand back up and put it on my carotid on this side. So even if they're locking it down, I'm diffusing the pressure of that bone on the carotid across my whole hand. It's going to buy me some time. I may still be getting strangled on one side, but it's going to buy me a little bit of time to do this technique. Again, if this side is on top and the other side's underneath, it's going to be the opposite. Step back, weave between, and get that hand in there. Now the finish that we're doing now, I step in here, I'm just going to reach over and grab the thumb and break the thumb to release. You can break the thumb, kotegaeshi. Traditional version sets up the same, step back, weave in, then this hand turns over a little bit like the wrist escapes. I don't just stop here, I turn it all the way over and grab the wrist. My other hand grabs underneath and I pull the hands as far apart as I can and then push over. So it's basically locking the arms and twisting. This is a good way for your uke to practice a high fall without being able to slap. No hand high fall. Come in, I weave, catch, turn it over, lock the arms, and use the twisting of the arms to throw them over. The way you can practice this time with the belt, Not everybody's going to have this luxury, but this door that I have has enough gap that I can actually get the belt in on both sides of the door. Still making a knot on both ends, slip it between this side and the other, and then close the door around it. I will turn the belt over or cross, just like crossing the arms, and put it around. Be careful with this one. I wouldn't recommend doing this alone. You want to accidentally strangle yourself because there is pressure on the neck here. But what it will allow you to do is to practice making sure you go over the right side. If this one's on top, I need to step back on this side and go in to protect. If I try to go the other way, you can see very quickly it's going to tie it up, and you went the wrong way. It's too late. You actually put more pressure into the strangle. So I'm always, whichever side is on top, I'm stepping back away from that side to open up some space, weave in, and put my hand in. And you can see as you turn back in, there's pressure on one side, but you're releasing some of the pressure on the other because of the hand. So it's a nice practice. I'm going to switch sides. Now this side's on top. Just step back, opens up all this space in here. Tight, not so tight. Put the hand in, turn back. Reach over to break the thumb, put the gash, or turn the hand all the way over, grab the other wrist, pull them apart, and twist. Other side, step back, creating all this space to get my hand in there, turn back, turn the hand all the way over, coming in underneath, pull them apart, and twist. Again, for us, it's simply just, once the hand's in, reach over, break the thumb. You can add kote gaeshi if you want. This technique also works on the ground. It's a little bit different though. Just to finish up, if I'm on the ground, someone's on top of me with that cross choke, can't step back, can I? There's nowhere for me to go. But I do want to shift my weight a little bit to get that hand in there. The strangle's already on, and I can't get my hands in to protect myself because it's locked in too much. Shift, push your hips underneath, kind of push with the foot, and slide that hand in. And then you go for your technique. Break the thumb or twist the arms. We have other self-defense techniques from somebody in full mount. You can see those other videos. But again, it's that most important part, shifting to create some space to get your arm in, whether you're standing on the ground, putting your hand on the carotid before you finish up with whatever technique you're going to use to get out of the strangle. Good luck practicing Momiji Hazushi.